Vinland Saga, if you haven't seen the anime, is basically, in my opinion, a better version of Game of Thrones. Very fun to watch. It is a manga originally, and now it's been adapted to 2 seasons of anime. I've watched the entire manga, so I'm speaking to you with the assumption that you've watched both anime seasons at least, so I'm not spoiling anything. So the first season is quite good. It's about this kid who's lost his dad and is now on a rather psychologically unhealthy binge of a vengeful quest to kill his father's killer. And we saw this very young kid becoming a very skilled fighter and went to war and fight along adults and killing them. That was a glorious show, the season 1. When it comes to season 2, we start to see that the main character had enough of war. He had enough of causing suffering to the world, and he also has failed to kill the person who killed his father because that guy died on his own for various reasons, and he lost his vengeance. So he was at a loss, and despite of his amazing skill at being a warrior, he made a decision that violence is just not good. Period. He starts to think that there is no situations in which violence is justified or the best option. That if he is just good enough, he'll be able to solve all of life's problem with some methodology that does not involve violence. I just don't agree with that. It's a rather erroneous strategy to go through life with no violence at all. It seems like Thorfinn, the main character, has gone to the other extreme, so from one unhealthy extreme to another. So he started as somebody who is engulfed by violence, and now he's somebody who completely rejects violence. Now, if you solve every life problem with violence, that obviously is not good. Most of life's problem can be solved in peaceful ways. But to say that the ultimate solution for every problem is always one that is absent of violence is, in my opinion, objectively incorrect. Jordan Peterson said that you need to become a monster and you need to know to control it. Controlling it means that you are the one who decides when and where and how you would be a monster. So there are situations where it is appropriate to be a monster. Somebody break into my house and is ready to kill my family in front of me. I would utilize any and all violence that I can utilize at that very moment to eradicate the threats. I wouldn't want to start a honest and transparent and loving conversation with these intruders. But according to Thorfinn, the main character of this anime, my utilizing violence at that very moment would be failure on my part to use the best strategy to overcome the problem. According to him, there has to be a better way that does not involve violence. But that wouldn't make sense. I think Thorfinn needs to become someone who is able to control violence. He was somebody who just aimlessly throwing violence at everything that he sees. But now he needs to become someone who chooses to use violence when his wisdom decides that it is appropriate. Right? He needs to learn to use violence to protect, for instance. If somebody tries to attack somebody he loves, he needs to stand up for the people that he loves. So all this is to say that being a complete pacifist is not the most optimal way to go about life, and there has to be a balance between violence and peace. And the balance being the control. You need to have the ability to control violence, and to control it, you need to first learn how to use it. If you're just completely weak and you're completely absent of any ability to cause violence, then there's nothing to control. There's no violence for you to control. So to control violence, you must first be capable of using violence, and then you need to learn to control it and to only use it when appropriate. And to know when is the appropriate time to use violence is something that you need to develop by developing your wisdom.